I thought graduation night would be the happiest moment of my life, until my own mother told me she wished I was never born. What I did next left everyone speechless. The words came at 8:47 p.m. on a Friday in March. Not whispered, not muttered under breath. Loud enough for 12 people to hear across white tablecloths and crystal stemware at Mercato, one of Chicago's overpriced Italian places on West Randolph. "Honestly, Vivian," my mother said, swirling her third glass of Pinot Grigio, "sometimes I wish you were never born." The room didn't gasp. It stopped. Conversations died mid-sentence. Forks froze halfway to mouths. Even the waiter carrying a tray of ossobuco hesitated near the doorway like he'd walked into a crime scene. I sat there in my black Zara blazer, the one I'd bought on sale 3 months ago, specifically for this night. My Stanford MBA diploma was still folded in my bag. My colleagues sat beside me, people who actually respected my work. My manager had just finished a toast calling me one of the most brilliant analysts he ever hired, and my mother wished I'd never been born. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I set my wine glass down carefully so it wouldn't leave a ring on the linen. Then I stood up, pushed my chair back with both hands, and looked her directly in the eyes. "Okay," I said. "Consider it done." I walked out, heels clicking on marble, 37 steps to the exit. Nobody followed me. They thought I was weak. They were wrong. Let me take you back. I grew up on a brick house on North Dearborn Street in Lincoln Park, the kind of neighborhood where people jog with $4,000 strollers and pretend their kids aren't nightmares. My family wasn't rich, but we looked the part. 3 bedrooms, 2-car garage, a lawn my father mowed every Sunday like clockwork. From the outside, we were perfect. On the inside, there was a hierarchy nobody ever acknowledged, but everyone understood. My younger sister, Jade, was the favorite. Not subtly, not in a way you could argue away. She was the sun, I was the background. When Jade joined the high school swim team, my mother bought her a $300 Speedo suit and drove her to every meet, even the ones 3 hours away. When I placed second in the Illinois State Science Fair at 16, my mother glanced at the certificate and said, "That's nice, honey. Can you pick up Jade from practice?" I learned early that my achievements didn't matter unless they served someone else. By the time I was 14, I was working, not for spending money, for survival. I bagged groceries at the Jewel Osco on Clark Street, worked weekend shifts at a coffee shop near DePaul, tutored middle schoolers in math for $25 an hour. My parents never asked what I did with the money. They just reminded me when bills were due. I paid the electric bill from sophomore year onward. I covered Jade's SAT prep course. I bought my own prom dress from a thrift store on Milwaukee Avenue and told people it was vintage. Nobody noticed, or maybe they did and they just didn't care. When I got into Stanford's MBA program with a partial scholarship, I thought things might finally shift. I thought maybe this would be the moment they saw me as more than just the utility daughter, the one who fixed problems, the one who paid for things. I was wrong. The night I told them, my mother was folding laundry in the living room. My father was watching the Cubs game. Jade was upstairs FaceTiming someone. "I got in," I said, holding the acceptance letter like it might disappear if I blinked. My mother glanced up. "Got in where?" "Stanford, MBA program." She nodded once. "Good for you. Can you start dinner? Your father's hungry." That was it. No hug, no congratulations, just a redirect back to function. 3 days later, Jade got accepted into a nursing program at Loyola. My mother threw a dinner party, invited 12 people, bought a cake from Sweet Mandy Bees, posted about it on Facebook with the caption, "So proud of my baby girl. She's going to save lives." I watched from the kitchen, cutting vegetables for the antipasto platter nobody thanked me for making. That's when I learned the most important lesson of my life. Some people will never see you. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you're just the infrastructure that keeps their world running. But I kept going. I always kept going. I worked 3 jobs through business school. I sent money home every month, $800 on the 15th, like clockwork. I graduated with honors. I got hired by a top-tier consulting firm in Chicago. I moved into a studio apartment in Streeterville with furniture from IKEA I assembled myself at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. And I thought maybe now they'd be proud. So I planned the dinner. I booked Mercado, I invited my manager, my team, 2 professors who had actually mentored me. I paid for everything: the deposit, the wine, the 6-course menu. I wanted one night where I wasn't invisible. The dinner started fine. My colleagues arrived on time, dressed well, genuinely happy for me. My manager shook my hand and said, "You earned this, Vivian. Enjoy it." My parents arrived 23 minutes late. My mother wore a cream-colored dress I'd never seen before. My father wore the same navy blazer he always wore, the one with the small stain on the left cuff. Jade didn't come. She texted me at 7:15 p.m. saying she had a shift at the hospital. She didn't have a shift. I checked Instagram later. She was at a bar in Wicker Park with friends. My mother kissed the air near my cheek. My father nodded. Neither of them brought a card. I introduced them to my team. My manager said, "You must be so proud of Vivian. She carried our entire Q4 restructuring project, saved the client over $2 million." My mother smiled tightly. "We're proud of both our daughters. Jade's working in the ICU now, saving lives. That's real impact." There it was, the redirect, the dismissal, the subtle knife. My colleague, a woman named Tess, who actually liked me, tried to steer it back. "Vivian is incredible. I don't know how she does it." My father laughed, actually laughed. "She's always been good at staying busy, but what Jade does, that's meaningful work." I felt the temperature drop. Even my manager, who barely knew my family, went quiet. But I smiled. I sipped my wine. I pretended everything was fine, because I'd spent 28 years pretending. Then my manager stood to give a toast. He talked about my work ethic, my intelligence, my future. He said, "Vivian is going places. I'm honored to have her on my team." The table applauded. I turned to my parents, just needing one glance, one moment of acknowledgement. My father leaned back in his chair and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Compared to a doctor, it doesn't really measure up." Something inside me cracked. Not broke, cracked, like ice under weight. My mother took another sip of wine and added, "You know, Vivian's always been so serious about everything. Jade never causes this kind of fuss." I stared at her. She stared back, eyes glassy, mouth curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. And then she said it. "Honestly, Vivian, sometimes I wish you were never born." The room stopped. I stood up, pushed my chair back, and said, "Okay, consider it done." I walked out, heels clicking on marble, 37 steps to the exit. Nobody followed me. I didn't cry in the Uber. I didn't cry when I got home. I sat on my couch in the dark, staring at the city lights reflected in the lake, and I opened my phone. 11 missed calls, 4 voicemails, 1 text from my mother, "You embarrassed us. I hope you're happy." I wasn't happy, but I was done. I opened my banking app. 3 automatic payments were scheduled for the next week. $800 to my parents for their mortgage, $450 for Jade's student loan payment, $220 for the family cell phone plan I'd been covering for 4 years. I canceled all 3. Then I blocked their numbers. For 3 weeks, nothing happened. No calls, no texts, no apologies. Just silence. I worked. I ran along the lakefront every morning. I had coffee with Tess, who told me, "You did the right thing. Fuck them." I started sleeping better. I stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes. I stopped carrying the weight of people who never wanted to hold me back. Then, on a Thursday afternoon in April, I came home from work and found 2 people standing outside my apartment door. My mother, my father. I stopped in the hallway, keys in hand. My mother saw me first. "Vivian," she said, voice tight, "we need to talk." I didn't move. "About what?" "Can we come inside?" I unlocked the door, let them in, didn't offer them anything to drink. My mother sat on my couch like she owned it. My father stood near the window, hands in his pockets, looking uncomfortable. "We need your help," my mother said. I crossed my arms. "With what?" "Jade's in trouble." Of course it was about Jade. My father cleared his throat. "Her program cut funding. She owes $18,000 in tuition by the end of the month, or they'll suspend her." I said nothing. My mother leaned forward. "We don't have it, Vivian. We need you to cover it." I laughed, short, sharp, not amused. "You need me?" I repeated. "She's your sister," my mother snapped. "She's your favorite," I said. My father's face went red. "Don't be petty." I stepped closer. "Petty? I paid your mortgage for 6 years. I paid Jade's loans. I paid your cell phone bill, your electric bill, your fucking water bill. I worked 3 jobs so you could pretend you were middle class? And the night I finally accomplished something, you stood in front of my colleagues and told me I wished I was never born." My mother's mouth opened. Nothing came out. "You didn't come here to apologize," I said. "You came here because you need money." "Vivian?" "No." I walked to the door, opened it. "Get out." My mother stood, voice shaking. "If you don't help her, she'll lose everything." I looked her in the eyes. Calm, steady, cold. I said, "Good. Maybe she'll learn what it's like to survive on her own." My father's face went pale. My mother's hands trembled. "You'll regret this." "I regret nothing," I replied. "Now leave." They left. I closed the door, locked it, sat on the floor with my back against the wall, and I smiled. 2 months later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was Jade. "Vivian," she said, voice small, "I need to talk to you." I didn't hang up. I didn't say anything. I just waited. "Mom and Dad told me what happened. They told me you refused to help me." "I did." "Why?" I leaned back in my chair, staring out at the lake. "Because I spent my entire life being your safety net, and nobody ever thanked me for it." She was quiet for a long time, then she said, "I didn't know. You didn't want to know." "Vivian, I'm sorry." "Are you?" I asked. "Or are you just sorry because now you have to deal with your own problems?" She didn't answer. I hung up. 3 weeks later, I got an email from my father. Subject line, "We need to talk about the house." I deleted it without reading it. I don't know what happened to Jade. I don't know if she finished her program. I don't know if my parents lost the house. I don't know, and I don't care. Because for the first time in my life, I'm not responsible for fixing everyone else's problems. I got promoted in June. My manager called me into his office and said, "You're the best investment this company has ever made." I bought a new couch, a real one, not from IKEA. I adopted a cat. I started dating someone who actually listens when I talk. And every morning, I wake up in my apartment overlooking Lake Michigan, make coffee, and sit on my balcony watching the sun rise over the water. I don't think about my mother's voice. I don't think about my father's indifference. I don't think about Jade's texts. I think about the version of me who walked out of that restaurant in her sail rack blazer, holding her head high, refusing to shrink anymore. She saved me. And if you're reading this because you've been the invisible one, the utility child, the one who gave everything and got nothing back, know this. You don't owe anyone your life. Not your parents, not your siblings, not anyone. Walk away. Cut the cord. Save yourself. Because nobody else will. If this story hit you, drop a comment below. Tell me your story. And if you want more real, raw narratives like this, hit that subscribe button. There's more coming. You deserve to be seen, even if it's just for strangers on the internet who get it. Don't let anyone make you feel like you were never born. You were, and you matter. Now, go live like it.